and welcome to our Smarty Live podcast. I'm in Smarty. I have been an SEO for a while. If you search and Smarty or just about any SEO topic, you're likely to see a lot of my articles that have been writing for years about SEO. And now this is my new thing, a weekly podcast discussing everything that's going on in search and AI, SEO, content marketing, link building. Today we're discussing link building, and why we're discussing it, because our favorite person on the planet, Jim Boykin, created a study that showed that 96% and 96.3, I think, it's almost 100%. And now I'm not a statistics expert, but let's put it like that. 96% of ranking URLs have lots of domain backlinks. I think it's at least 1,000. Those are competitive queries, so those are not long tail or information-based queries from what I've seen. And this correlation is pretty dramatic. And we will discuss it, and I will get a little bit negative again, so bear with me there. But this is the study. You don't have to have a study, just so everyone is clear. You don't have to have the study to see that in results. Anytime you search for anything competitive, you see huge, powerful domains ranking on top of Google. And you can say they are big brands, or you can say they have huge backlink profiles, which is one not exists without the other. So yes, we cannot tell exactly what is playing the role there, but search Google. Do not trust me. Do not trust any studies that you see. Just search Google and see what types of domains and how many backlinks they have. And you will, I don't know any other ranking signal that would have that dramatic correlation between rankings and numbers. You can say this is the correlation, and this is where I will get sarcastic now. So first of all, there is an interesting thing going on in our industry. There are people who actually do the job of SEO. They are not as visible because they are busy doing the job. And there are people reporting on SEO. And there are great people reporting on SEO, like Barry Schwartz, for example, who doesn't have actual opinion about what's going on. They are just reporters. They do not say this is right or wrong, or they don't have to have a lot of thoughts on things they are not actually doing. And this is the great reporter which we are all following. And I will not name any other names, but there are people who report on SEO without actual first-hand experience with clients, without answering their questions, without seeing them grow or seeing them fall, but they always have an opinion. They monetize their SEO activities by newsletters, articles, blogs, and I don't even know what else. But they do not do SEO services. You can always tell who are the people who are actually doing SEO and who are people who are reporting on SEO. And this has caused a lot of problems in our industry, because people who do the job, who are client facing, who achieve results for the clients, or have to deal with clients who have seen dramatic declines, they will never say things like, oh, you know what? All you need is helpful content. Or you know what? All you need is great user experience. You will never hear them saying these things, because they're dealing with actual sites. And they know that, okay, this site has seen a dramatic decline. The owner of that site comes to an SEO agency and asks questions. And you look at other sites, at other pages that are ranking now for that query, and they see worst case scenarios ranking. And now you look at backlinks and you know why they're ranking. So whenever you hear that links are no longer in top 3 ranking factors, try to prove it to me, because I've seen it all, and I'm still looking for that evidence, and I will welcome it. I will look at case studies and I say, yes, you are right, I'm wrong. In this case, backlinks are not what played the role in rankings. If you have an example of that, and that's what I'm saying on all my social media networks, and I do have a lot of connections, and some of them would come to me and say, yes, my client doesn't have backlinks, but they are ranking, but I cannot show you the results because they are NDA private clients. Okay. Do you have any other public example that you can share? Because if you claim something, you should be able to prove that. In our industry, the opposite is happening. Everyone is saying backlinks do not matter, but there is never proof, never evidence, never a single example, never a single example of that happening. All they have, those people who claim that and confuse everyone else, is Googlers say they're not top three ranking factors. But that Googlers say, and we know why they say that, and I actually support that course of them. It's not like they're doing this right, but I've been seeing a lot of businesses be investing in low quality backlinks, investing in wasting money on something that's not helping them or can even risk their organic visibility because they don't know better. There is not enough education in terms of what types of links you are striving for, what can be helpful, how to do it right, what kind of investment you're looking at. And because of all of that confusion, I can see why Google is trying to tell us, no, stop link building. It's not what we care about, because they don't want businesses to fail and to waste their money. At least that's that's how I want to hope why they're doing this. But it's not exactly the thing. Backlinks are still key. And anytime you are trying to take a client and look at their website, optimize it to death, do everything right, create helpful content, change their usability, remove their ads, make it faster, make it more usable, whatever you can do. When you do all of that, maybe you will see a little bit of growth in organic rankings, because maybe you changed the structure, you added internal links, you created better content for them. Maybe you will see a little upstick of rankings if that site already has backlinks. But when you start getting great backlinks on a regular basis, all those fresh signals continuously, that's when you will achieve the real growth. And anyone who is doing SEO, whoever is claiming backlinks are not important, there are two reasons for that. Either they cannot do link building, which I can understand. It is very difficult these days. So they are just telling their clients, no, you don't not, no need in backlinks. You have enough. Or they are not doing actual SEO work. If you have, again, any case studies, any examples, anything to prove me wrong, I'm here. I'm on Smarty on LinkedIn. I'm SEO Smart on Twitter. Smarty.marketing has the content form to reach me. So anytime you have a great case study to prove me wrong, I'm all there and I will be all over it. And I will actually do another live video discussing it. So let me know. Now, quick thing before we switch to questions. Do subscribe to my newsletter. It now lives on my personal domain, nsmarty.com. So nsmarty.com, you can search for my name, you will find it, or just type it nsmarty.com in any browser and subscribe to my newsletter, where I discuss all these new updates, studies, contradictions, tools, AI findings, all of that. Please subscribe. Now, April, I think I forgot to introduce you because I was so excited about this topic. April is our director of social media, outreach manager, designer of our logo, and many other cool things. Thank you. Thank you for joining me again and always. And I'm sure you have some interesting questions today.
I sure do. So, what types of content have you found naturally attract the most links?
That's a great question, because we at Smarter Marketing do have our own formula of content that always gets links. We've been doing that for 11 years, but it's not like we do the same thing all over and over again. We rely on our experience and skill set that when brainstorming content, we already know it will get links. It's visual, and that's why it is discoverable from many channels, including image packs on Google. It ranks in Google, so it's data driven. It's always interesting, tells interesting stories, but it's not like it's just one type of content
Mm-hmm.
that I could share, because there is a lot of brainstorming and work behind every asset. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
single formula to creating a linkable content, especially if you do that in-house.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend just keep experimenting with things. I know that when COVID was around, when there were all the um, hysteria with staying at home, not going to schools, there were a lot of content that could get you links based on this is what you can do at home. These are printables that you can print and educate yourself at
Mm-hmm.
home. There are coloring books that you can keep at home and teach your kids art, for example. So based on whatever is happening in the world,
Mm-hmm.
keep in mind on that and create something useful. This is
Mm-hmm.
one way to approach that. Another way to approach that is to consult with the agency that can do that for you, which is us. Get in touch. But again, there's no single formula. Even with every client that comes to us, we cannot tell, hey, this is exactly what you need. It takes a
Mm-hmm.
lot of research, a lot of brainstorming, looking at existing data, looking at existing link opportunities. So no single advice here. Unfortunately, it has become much more difficult than it was even 5 years ago, because people know the value of backlinks. They are tired of outreach emails. It is incredibly hard to create something that stands out and add something new to the web, because everything has been already written. So it takes a lot of time and brainstorming. No single advice here, except for getting in touch with us, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting repetitive.
I mean, like Craig said right here, it's difficult to build links. So I think what we create, the quality of what we create, and the effort and the time and the customization that goes into everything really reflects in that. And so they naturally earn links that way. It's not easy, but it's it's worth it.
It's not easy, and every project that we create for our clients takes 10 weeks at least. So you can imagine that it's not like you just create something and it magically attracts links, which, by the way, is another argument for that study that I mentioned. There are people who say this is just pure correlation. Those pages that rank on top of Google just magically attracted backlinks. This has nothing to do with them ranking. It's just because they are so great, and that's why they have backlinks. Anyone who has been in the industry for more than 2 years knows that nothing attracts backlinks magically, especially when it comes to commercial phrases with product categories ranking, with affiliate product ranking, with all of that that makes money. No one is linking to it just because it ranks or just because it's awesome. So it's not the pure coincidence that pages with backlinks rank. It's what played the role in them ranking,
Mhm.
unfortunately. Well, fortunately for us, but unfortunately for all those other sites that do not know how to get good backlinks to their sites. Is that why our brand names are so important in SEO? Yes, exactly why we need to build a good brand name. It is because Google knows you as a brand name and tries to pull your official entities, your official channels on top of results for any brand-driven searches. And it's also a great signal for Google when it knows there's a brand name, there's an entity behind that site or behind that name. There is much more trust and much more consistency, stability behind rankings. So definitely branding is number one thing that you need to achieve when it comes to an effective SEO strategy. Backlinks can help a lot with that. This is another thing that we need to keep in mind. Backlinks are not just for page rank. It's also contributing to other signals. Great backlinks bring brand mentions. Fresh backlinks bring more crawlability to the site, faster indexation of the site. Backlinks bring trust to the page, because when it's trustworthy resource linking to something else, this trust goes to that page as well. So it's much more than just direct page rank signal that we are so much used to bringing up and caring about. It's not just about that. It's also site authority, trust, branding, fresh signals, more visits from Google, because with every link, Google is encouraged to go to that site and crawl it again and again and see your fresh changes. So it's much more than page rank for sure.
I actually like to say something about this comment from Albert. I definitely agree that like unique data sets or data that like just only the website can provide, or data that we like compile ourselves and create like a new angle or a unique angle, like that has been really effective for us. So definitely like just to create something that's unique and other people haven't made, that comes from that you source yourself and you put the effort into making yourself, like that is really effective for getting, we've in our experience is really effective for getting on like news websites and all kinds of
I do,
places.
yeah, I'd like to also address the second part of this comment as well, that you do not just build it and expect it links or rankings to come. That's why earlier I said correlation between rankings and backlinks, pure coincidence. Just because they're ranking, they're attracting backlinks, or vice versa, just because they are great, they have backlinks, but that's not why they're ranking. It's nonsense. You to get those backlinks, you need to actually proactively get them. You cannot build great content and expect that people will just link to it, unless you're CNN, New York Times, or like a huge brand that has syndication that people just browse to find where to link to. And they have newsletters, they have other methods, not as proactive, not as more organic to get backlinks, because they have huge brand and authority and site authority as well. So unless you're that level of a business, getting backlinks, even huge brands, I've seen a lot of travel sites, huge sites that everyone knows, they're still struggling to get backlinks because they have commercial landing pages and they need them to rank. But it's impossible to get backlinks these days unless you do something about it. So yes, outreach. In our case, we also position infographics strategically on social media, including Reddit, so that it's in front of people who can send links and mention in local media, blogs, newspapers, magazines, all of that. So it's proactive, strategic, placing your content in front of people who can link to it. This is the key to generating those organic backlinks to your linkable assets.
Like a side note, Reddit's also like a great place to go to find ideas to create that content that they'll like. Just go to the communities that are relevant to your client or your topic and see what they're talking about, see what's interesting to them, see what like performs well, like, and you can sort by top and all that. There's all kinds of research that you can do and to find what will resonate with them, and then you can go back to them and be like, hey, look at this thing that you probably
Yep.
like.
Part of our brainstorming as well. We
Mm-hmm.
brainstorm with links in mind. So
Mm-hmm.
we do not just find something interesting that we think would be exciting to the community. We are brainstorm based on what resonates, what is linked currently, what is discussed, what goes hot, what questions people ask on social media. So that also important. The brainstorming part of creating linkable content is also key, because you need to already know at that point what the potential, the link building potential of every linkable asset is.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right. So the next question I have is, I think we kind of addressed this, but can a page still rank well if it gets a ton of backlinks, but it is not properly optimized for keywords?
It's not as easy to answer these days as it was 10 years ago when it was just keyword matching. Google is much smarter these days. So sometimes when searching for something, it's not exactly what you search, but what Google think you searched. So keyword intent, search query intent is much more important these days than just keyword matching. So optimizing for keywords, yes, it is important, but not to the level. It's like it mostly like you give Google clues as to what this page is about in case in case it's wondering, in case it's like low volume query that Google doesn't have enough data to create more enhanced search result page. For most competitive pages, I would suggest before you come up with any keyword optimization strategy, search for that and see what Google currently shows, what types of results currently rank, and which search intent is being addressed on those high-ranking pages. Because it's not just about keyword optimization these days; it's mostly about addressing exactly the need people searching for that search query had. So that's yes, that is key. You cannot rank an irrelevant page just because it has backlinks for any search query, especially if it doesn't give good answers, doesn't provide good opportunities to like quickly understand what people need and give those answers to them, or like even other ways to address their search query. Even as a product page, you need to see what makes it easier for them to buy it, to have that, to make that buying decision, whether it's reviews, whether it's some comparison, whether it's sizing chart. So anything that can help your people to make a choice and engage with your page is also important. So yes, backlinks are not the only signal these days, but there is no other signal with such a strong correlation
Mm-hmm.
as them. So I guess that's, everything else is also essential. Absolutely. And we always look at that as well. It's just, it's not as direct correlation as backlinks. I think that answers that.
Yeah, and I guess it all feeds into itself. Like if you do everything else right and you put a lot of effort into it, then all that will attract backlinks, and then the keywords will help it rank. I don't know. It's just all a system. All needs to be balanced properly. Just like in my experience, we've created digital assets for clients, and then with like really well optimized content, and then it'll like get the featured snippet really soon after we start promotion. But it makes me wonder if, because of those are clients that we've been working on for a while, that they have like a really great backlink profile from content that we've created in the past. So I wonder if like backlinks on other pages help just all the pages on that website get rank higher naturally without having like a.
Yes, and finally, we also have the confirmation on that from the leaked documentation, which also quite debatable topic. We discussed it twice at this point, so check out my newsletter with that, with those thoughts. But there is a site authority mentioned on in that documentation, which is the accumulation of all the links coming to that site. So it doesn't have to be direct backlinks to a page for that page to rank well. It could rely on the site authority and the all other signals that the whole site has in terms of backlinks, brand mentions, and all of that. We have an interesting question from Albert on it's a long one, but there is a theory that March core update seems to have dialed up a time decaying function to backlink profiles in order to combat expired domains. We discussed this topic. Please, again, nsmarty.com, scroll a little bit. There is an episode on fresh signals. And I think it's not just March core update. Maybe it made it stronger, that signal, but fresh backlinks definitely started playing a more significant role than the past backlinks that you had accumulated previously. And this does, I agree with you, may have something to do with Google fighting expired domains, and we I think mentioned that at that point as well. So yes, fresh signals. And to the question, how would you approach your campaigns operating under the theory? We do not do link exchanges, expired domains, anything that has to do with existing content. We do not do. We create fresh linkable assets that generate fresh signals. And that's why we are not changing anything. We are celebrating that we are doing everything right at this point. So nothing in our world, nothing is changing. For everyone else, if you have, and that's what I said previously, if you come across a really relevant expired domain with really relevant backlinks, I would still suggest investing in it if you can afford it. Otherwise, I would not for sure rely on any link building practices that 100% depend on old existing content and expired domains. You need to have fresh signals, and you have to diversify your link building profile. So whatever you can do, if it's participating in interviews, roundups, podcasts, if you can do high quality guest posting, if you can do linkable assets that we do, all of those fresh signals from fresh content and fresh publications, so they're syndicated well, they are trusted well by Google. All of those backlinks will definitely help you diversify your profile and get higher rankings. Consistent content marketing and link building efforts are necessary just to maintain your current positions, let alone improving them. Exactly. And we had roundtable discussions that we hold every month with business owners. They are free. Feel free to add yourself on our site, smarty.marketing. There is a quick link to join our roundtable. They're monthly. They are not recorded. We share private problems, issues, case studies, examples. And we had one in May discussing helpful content updates and how everyone is impacted. I did that those discussions earlier with site owners and publications. One thing, one clear correlation. Again, let's say one person has two sites and they're very similar and they're performing well. But you know which one was impacted by helpful content update? The one that had fewer backlinks. So links can also help you outweigh all other negative signals, even though the content may not be as helpful. But that trust and fresh signals and branding and yes, page rank, site authority can save you from many other problems with Google, including helpful content systems, which are now part of core updates. So it's more than just PageRank, and I don't know how else to emphasize that. You need fresh signals, you need fresh backlinks.